Hi everyone and welcome to this video. I hope that by now all of you have checked your CET result, but just in case you haven't, we will give you a link in the description from where you can check your result. Make sure that you download the scorecard and keep a copy of that with you. So in this video, we are going to talk about the result, we will talk about the cutoffs and the process that is going to happen for the admission. So let's get started. Now let's start talking about the process first of all. So a notification on the CET cell website announcing the centralized admission process will be released soon. So centralized admission process is a common process in which you fill a single form to apply to multiple institutes. Now, the students who are both from Maharashtra or not from Maharashtra, whether you are a Maharashtra candidate or an All India candidate, you are supposed to fill the CAP form. So even if you are, let's say, somebody who is applying through your CMAT or the CAT score, you will have to submit the CAP form in which you are supposed to indicate the institute preference. And the CAP form automatically finds the candidate type based on what you enter. So a lot of times students ask this question that I have done my 10 12 from a particular place but graduation from some other place and so on, or I was born here but studied in some other place. So for all these questions there's a very simple answer that the CAP form actually finds the candidate type based on the data that you enter, and it happens automatically, so you don't have to worry too much about it. However, we recommend students to gather all the documents, which is category certificates or your birth certificate, domicile certificate, income proof of your parents, and so on. A lot of these documents are required for the admission. And we have also seen that sometimes people who can put their candidature as state candidate miss out on it simply because they do not have a particular piece of document. So check that whether you are eligible for something like a domicile certificate, and if you are, make sure that you apply for it right away if you don't have it. From there, a state and all India merit list will be created. So here there are two types of lists that they produce. One is a state list and there is an all India merit list. Also, there is a provisional merit list which will be released. And in case there are any changes to that, they will be making those corrections and there will be a final merit list which will be announced. The merit number that you get, or let's put it very simply, the rank that you get is going to be used for subsequent admission process. You will also be able to see your category ranks in this particular document, and this will be released once the CAP application form is filled. Two CAP rounds will be conducted for admission, and if there are any vacant seats, the admission is conducted directly at the institute through a process called additional CAP rounds or ACAP. Now, generally, very few seats are left for ACAP, and that is why we don't recommend students to rely on this. So make sure that you put preferences in such a manner that you get a college of your choice within the first or the second round itself, and don't really depend on the ACAP. Now, let's talk a little bit about the cutoffs. So first of all, the CET scores were not revealed this time, and that's a very big problem because we don't know at what score people have got what percentile, and we'll never be able to figure out that across the slots was there any normalization that was done or not, because we don't have any benchmark in mind. So that is why we are not in a position to comment anything on the cutoffs in terms of scores. And that is why we can still talk about cutoffs in terms of percentile. The scorecard that is given to students now reveals only the percentile obtained. The percentile cutoffs of last year hence can be used as they are, and they can be used to understand the chance of getting a college in the first or in the second round. So we of course have that data and we'll share that data with you on the next slide. The final admission is going to be conducted on the basis of ranks. So please keep that in mind. And that is why only when the ranks are announced, only once the final merit list is announced, we will be able to estimate which B school the student is finally going to get. And that is why right now, all of it remains sort of an approximation or estimation as to which college you can get. But we'll not be able to comment on that somebody will get a particular college definitely. There are a few more pointers that we need to keep in mind, and the cutoffs vary because of multiple parameters. Now, there are three types of candidates who have taken the test this time, considering it was delayed by a very huge margin. So, firstly, there are students who have taken the test who want to get through some or the other college this year. So, people who are genuine candidates who want to get through the top colleges and so on. The second is students have already joined some other B school, but who are taking CET only for, say, a JBMS or a SIDNAM. So let's say there is somebody who is studying at a particular institute and has joined for a PGDM program, and the program started in June. But now the student had an opportunity to take the CET just to see if the person can get, let's say, a JB or a SIDNAM, and that is why the person has taken it. So it could be because of better brand or ROI. And lastly, CAT 22 students who otherwise would have looked at CET 23 have also taken the test. So I was talking to one of the students who had sent me the scorecard, and I realized that the person is actually a CAT 22 enrolled student, but just because an opportunity was there, the person ended up taking CET this year. So those who fall in category 2 and 3 that we spoke about, right? So the students who have already joined some other B school, or people who are actually CAT 22 students and have got a low score this time, will be out of the race. And that is why it is going to create a lot of impact on the final ranks that we will get. So though we will look at the percentile cutoffs, once only when we get the ranks, we'll be able to comment on the final chances of students. So let's have a look at the percentile cutoffs now. So these are CET 21 cutoffs. And the way you look at this is, first of all, we have given category wise cutoffs here for the top 10 institutes, which is Open, OBC, SC, ST, All India candidates, and EWS. There are cutoffs for TFWS as well, but we have not given it on this slide. You will be able to find it, and I'll give you a link in the description as well as on the next slide. And you go to the link from where you will be able to download the documents through which you will be able to find for, let's say, TFWS, what was the cutoff, and so on. So firstly, let's focus on the top 10. Right now, how you read this is for JBIMS, first of all, there is no split as home university, outside home university. So HU is home university, OHU is outside home university. So here there is no bifurcation. And last year in cap round 2, so these are all cap round 2 cutoffs, not cap round 1. For cap round 2, JBMS ended at 99.92, which means if you are somebody, and I think the cutoff for round 1 was 99.95, somewhere around that. So if you're somebody who has got, let's say, a 99.96 or a 99.97 and so on, you are sure shot inside JBMS. That is the way we can look at it. If you're OBC, again, HU cutoff, there is no split at JB, but for others, we have given the split. So let's say you are somebody who has got a 99.5 percentile, you're a home university candidate, right? And OBC candidate, let's say. Then Sydenham is something that can potentially work out, considering last year it closed at 99.16. So that is how you look at this entire table for your own category. You see what is the percentile. And these are, as I said, cap round 2 cutoffs. So cap round 1 cutoff, of course, would have been higher than this, but this will give you a sense of what is the potential or what is the chance that you have at a particular institute. Now, what about colleges beyond the top 10? So we have uploaded category wise cutoffs of state as well as all India students of MBA CET 21. So there are 4 documents that we have uploaded for the Maharashtra state students, cap round 1 and cap round 2, and for all India, cap round 1 and cap round 2. So you can go to this link. This is the website that we have, which is a blog called crackingcet.com, wherein we have put a lot of content related to the entire admission process, as well as the cutoffs and strategy and so on. So please make sure that you visit to this particular link and download these documents and keep it with you for reference, because sometimes they also delete these documents from their archives. So it's better to have these documents with you for later reference, and they will become very, very crucial once the actual cap rounds begin. So at this point of time, they're not very, very relevant. You can download them to look at what is your potential at a particular college, but at the same time they will become very, very important once the actual cap rounds begin, because then it will give you an idea as to which college you should be putting as preferences. So the order that we saw some time back, which was for the top 10 colleges, we suggest that students stick to this particular order. So when you're putting your cap preferences, make sure that you follow an order that we will share with you. We have done a lot of research in terms of what the cutoffs are. So make sure that you follow the order that we give to you, and we will do that once the centralized admission process announcement happens. So definitely wait for some time. I know that a lot of people want to know what are their chances, etc. We have already spoken about the top 10, and for other institutes you can find the documents, go through it, do some research. You'll be able to find the cutoffs of the colleges of your choice. So I hope this video has helped. If you have any questions, feel free to put a comment in the description or in this particular comment section of the YouTube video. I'll be very happy to answer your questions. So make sure that you subscribe to the channel, and wish all of you all the best for the next steps. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you guys in the next one.